Hi, everyone. On the eve of the World Chess Championship between Magnus Carlsen and Jan Nepomniachtchi, we are delighted to welcome a legend of the chess world, personal hero of mine, ex-world champion, Garry Kasparov. Garry, welcome.
Yes. Good afternoon, good morning, whatever time is it now? Because chess fans are just spread around the planet, so that's why. Yeah, I'm sure they'll be watching at very different time of the day.
Yeah, exactly. It's well, what we're doing in this video, we're going to do a little preview of the World Chess Championship, and I thought we'd just kick it off by just getting you, Garry, to give your assessment of the strengths and weaknesses of both players. Maybe starting with Jan Nepomniachtchi, the challenger.
I think very few people could predict that Jan would be a candidate. So yeah. If you ask me or many others to make bets before the beginning of the candidates, so you would go probably Caruana, maybe MVL, maybe Ding. I mean, Jan would definitely not be a favorite, not making top three. But you know, it's what happened is there was pandemics. You know, then the candidates tournament was split in two, and you know he proved to be ironically, because people always saw that he was very aggressive, dynamic, and unbalanced player, but he played, more solid chess, in two events. Yeah, he was probably a bit lucky with the break because he lost a key game to MVL, and then it was a 1 year break, so he has time to recover. But look, again, he did well in the second part. Yeah. So when MVL collapsed, Caruana collapsed, and then he survived. It's a huge pressure, and it's I always say it's not an accident. So while we know Magnus. Look at the record. Magnus is a better player. You look at the record, at results, but in the World Championship match, it's about who's playing better now. Yeah. Now. Yes. Exactly. People, can point out that, but Garry once called Karyakin an accidental candidate. So and what has changed now? Actually, what's changed now? It's because I'm just jumping now from Jan to Magnus. Magnus has changed. Okay. In 2016, I think he was invincible. Yeah. So it is, and now, while again, Magnus is a better player. If he plays, with his full potential, he'll win the match. But we know that Magnus is not as stable and not as invincible as he used to be. Yeah. And when Magnus, says, I'm a better player, I give him credit. Yeah, but it's not about, being better player in principle or in the past. It's about now. So I don't think I was worse than Kramnik in the year 2000. But I was in the middle of my best, or one of my best streaks of winning tournaments, before and after the match. But this match, I played poorly and I lost the match. So I'm not trying to undermine Kramnik's phenomenal, preparation for the match. But again, it's about match, 14 games they play, and I think that Magnus' task in this match might be much tougher than many people think.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I like. I've been looking at quite a few of Nepomniachtchi's games. Actually, I didn't know so much about him, but I mean, he looks. He's very optimistic. He plays very, very fast. He's.
Yes, he played very fast. I think it's just the reason he qualified is because I think he made quite a progress by not changing style, by enriching his style. He played, more, positional chess and tried to not to attack instantly. So he's more universal than he used to be. I think that's one of the secrets of his success in the candidates. Yeah. And in the match, we may expect some surprises. So he proved that he can improve. Even he can just add new elements to his game, even at age 30. Yeah. So whether he will offer us some surprises now, I don't know. But clearly, he's preparing for the match of his life, and that's also we also should remember. For him, it's now or never.
Indeed.
Magnus is trying to beat my record. Good luck. So let's see. Still needs to win 2 matches to get to 6, and then he he has magic number 7, there's to win 7 matches, World Championship matches. So, but for Magnus, there's the element of, I don't know, it's some kind of, because I knew it's not a routine, but it's just somehow you defending its time and again might be, I don't want to use the word boring, but it's definitely a new type of challenge. And again, Magnus is not as stable as he used to be. So we'll see.
Yeah. I mean, actually, talking about the preparation of both players, I mean, we've seen a lot about Jan and his training camps and losing weight. And whereas Magnus, well, he played his last game in end of October. And since then, he's played about 450 bullet and blitz.
Yeah, you did calculate 450 because I watched the chess and look. I mean, for me, it's shocking. I mean, Botvinnik would be cursing. This is playing 450 or so blitz games. Some of them, bullet chess. Again, it's against all the rules, all the things that I learned from Botvinnik and from other great teachers that I had. Maybe it's a modern preparation. If Magnus wins, he'll say, it proves, it proves that I can do whatever. I'm falling short, of giving you an explanation or why Magnus did it, because I think even being, I'm having a risk of being called, the conservative. I think it doesn't offer any benefits. I don't understand how it can help you in the match. Maybe he wants to get excited. Maybe it's a kind of just to push his adrenaline. Again, I have no explanation, but that for me is not is not a good sign. Again, I might be dead wrong, but 450 games, what for? So what is this? What is trying to prove? So it's just, I think that shows that there's something here that it's not working as impeccably as it's used when Magnus showed up at the big matches. So we'll see. Again, it's everything I said could be totally disregarded if Magnus shows his true strengths even in half of the games in the match.
Yeah, it's funny. I blunder checked all of his games, and I have to say, the blitz level is just incredible. Simply, I mean, Magnus during those 450 games is barely blundering at all. It's a really incredible level. But yeah, indeed, I mean, I virtually gave up blitz during my career because of all the Botvinnik sets. So I'm completely shocked.
Look, we know Magnus in blitz and rapid chess, he's very strong. Maybe he's preparing for Armageddon, but again, Armageddon is not blitz. So also let's not forget that 2 last matches, Magnus had to win in tie breaks. So there, of course, Karyakin and Caruana were quite different. They were more, solid players, more defensive players, and Magnus had great difficulty of just, creating, the open battle. Here with Jan, I don't know actually. It's what kind of match Magnus wants to have. So whether he'll play very solid, chess. Again, would Magnus play the aggressive style, powerful serve, rushing to the net, or he play from the back line? Just provoking. So I think it's quite important that because Magnus can play differently. So this is and also we'll see how Jan will respond because. Again, you don't have to be a Nostradamus and you don't have to look at a crystal ball to say that they spend hundreds and hundreds of hours with computers. So that's why some of the if we'll see Sveshnikov, if we that will be interesting because I'm sure Jan will come up with something there. If we when we see Berlin, because I'm curious, what will happen there. So again, there's Magnus had very few openings for the World Championship matches, and also interesting to see how Jan will play because he already, you could see he added extra new openings. Whether he will use these openings or he'll stick to his Grunfeld and Najdorf, it's interesting. So that's a big challenge. So I don't know. It's an interesting match because there's so much preparation, and as I said, for Jan, it's now or never, and that could give him extra energy and motivation.
Yeah. I mean, does it remind you of any previous World Championship? I mean, is there anyone that comes to mind with this one?
No, there's some people say, okay, it's reminded, this is those who say Magnus will win easily. It's like Kasparov playing short.
Okay.
I don't look. The difference is that in 1993 I was still in my prime.
Yeah.
It's the same age as Magnus. But I when I just again my game was extremely stable so it's the also it's Nigel's style was very the way he played chess, it just didn't work against me. So that's it. He couldn't actually get just under my skin. So this is my shield proved to be impenetrable for him.
Yeah. Yeah.
So and also Nigel had a very negative score against me. So that entering the match, Jan.
Yeah.
You look at the score. It's they played ages ago. They played like kids, but still it matters. So this is this Magnus doesn't have this psychological advantage of dominating in their previous matches.
Yeah. No, it's I mean, Jan's drawn white for the first game. I mean, how did you approach the first white game in the World Championship? I mean, did you have a special opening that maybe you'd use once to ease yourself into the match, or was it full tilt with the big preparation, trying to make a quick score?
Look, if you remember my game was Karpov, so this is the in 84, in 86, in 87, and in 1990 I played with black.
Okay.
So it is. So that's why again I played only one game was white and I won it in 1985. Yeah. I played only one. So this is the no. If I had white pieces, for me, that's the battle must begin. What we're waiting for. So and 85 it just was a really good game, and it's a choice of opening because I surprised Karpov with the Nim to Indian with G3.
Yeah.
But how can you imagine today that Karpov spent something like 45 minutes around move 5 or 6? This was just because it was shocked. He wasn't prepared for the opening and he was trying to find a way to actually escape. Just from or to push me from my preparation. But again, it for him it was really a really big unpleasant surprise. And I also played white against Kramnik. That's, by the way, Berlin. That's first Berlin. That's first Berlin in my life, and that was uneventful draw. And I played white against Visha. I was black, also first game draw, and against Nigel it was white. I dominated the game and then just kind of blew it up in the time trouble, and then Nigel lost on time.
Yeah.
So again, when I had white pieces, I always tried to do something in the game. I'm puzzled because from one side, Jan could decide to have a big to have a big start because Magnus in the beginning is always a bit shaky.
Yeah.
But Jan is playing the first game on stage, so at World Championship, and that's huge pressure. It's just you think, it's another game. No, it's such a big game, and I don't know, can he handle the psychological pressure? Whether he'll try to start slow, game 1, game 2 to get adjusted, and then try in game 3 with white at the end of the just because they play 3 games, I think, yes, 3 games, yeah. So it's the many questions. There's as many, and also we'll see what Magnus promised at the press conference, to push, from day one. I mean, curious, he never did it before. So again, is it his psychological attack on Jan, or it's just he doesn't care and just wants to show that he's overconfident? I would like to see the first 2 games, and I think they will tell us a lot. The first 2 games will, because we are now still, shooting in the darkness.
Yeah.
Because it's just, it's this way or that way. Now, seeing first 2 games, that's the first, we move. E4, D4. I mean, typically Jan plays E4, but maybe he made a surprise. This. I don't know if he goes D4. Magnus definitely can do whatever. Yeah. So he can play D4 and E4. So I doubt very much that he goes C4 and either free. So I think Magnus will look for play either e4 or d4, checking whether he can have an opportunity to show his preparation neither for Grünfeld. So with Jan, I would say more likely e4, but again, maybe it's just something that's maybe he wants to start a slower start, and he has some schemes in in d4 in Queen's Gambit, or we'll see. But I would probably, if you want to bet, I would probably bet on e4 tomorrow, probably.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, it's, I mean, I just thinking, I was looking back at Magnus's matches, and well, you saw his first match against Vichy. He was, he looked really, kind of really nervous. He played one knight f3, two g3, and in a way was kind of lucky that Vichy didn't.
Oh yeah, he was on. But that's exactly what I was saying about Jan. Now it was his first match.
Yeah.
And though Magnus was already was stronger and just a lot of energy, younger, but in the beginning of the match he could suffer. That's first 2 or 3 games. I think that he was under heavy pressure.
Yeah, indeed, and also against Karyakin, and also against Caruana. I mean, the first opening that he played, so against Karyakin, it was a Trompovsky, and then against Fabiano, he played a bishop f4, Queen's Gambit decline, but he never repeated it after in the match. So I sort of wondered whether this was a sort of a throwaway opening that you try once and let the opposing team work at it, and then afterwards just go on.
Yeah, that's might be. But again, that's why I was a bit surprised by Magnus. His belligerent statement. I will start big, because that's we know from his previous matches. He tries to actually to play solid. Because he's not, he needs more games to have this confidence. Maybe that's why he played 450 blitz games. Maybe that was his special drug. So this is I don't know, but typically he needed time, and that's why he used these second-rated ideas just to get practice. And he's most dangerous just in the middle of the match. If nothing happens in the first 3 games, then we'll see, because the next week Magnus will push. Yeah, so this is the. What I would say that if by game 8 the score is even, then I think Magnus can start not panicking, but you will see vibration, real vibration. So he'll try definitely to have to take a lead before match reaches its equator.
Yeah. I mean, just the drawing of lots was on Wednesday, and they're only starting the match on Friday. I mean, feels like 2 very long days somehow for the players. I mean, how did you approach those crucial last couple of days before a World Championship match? Were you working like crazy? Were you just really launched, and or did you take a break, or were you doing different sort of work?
You're challenging my memory, yes. So that was a long time ago. No, I never changed my routine. I used to work, that's before the game. So I used to work. So for me, it's when I play chess, it was all chess. That's nothing else. Yeah. Chess in the morning, chess in the afternoon, chess at night. So it's just there were only breaks for food and sleep. Yeah. The rest was chess. So. And walk, of course, yes, walking. So basically, that's this. Yes, walking, sleeping, eating, and the rest chess.
Fantastic. It's I mean, obviously, computers have revolutionized chess and preparation, and I mean, you're heavily involved in AI nowadays, and also, you were at the forefront of using database programs and computers during your career. Yeah. I mean, just thinking just nowadays, just about possibilities of AI and computers and in chess. Would you be thinking of anything special to do with computers? If you were preparing for a World Championship match nowadays.
Look, it's very different now again, because it's the as I said, I was a pioneer, so I enjoyed immensely working with chess databases, and that's ChessBase 86, 87. So I was behind the idea that I shared with Fred Friedel, and I really I enjoyed having the access just to data, not just to go through the notebooks, but just to look at on the screen. I enjoyed very much working with chess engines. So, but now they're so powerful.
Yeah.
It's different preparation. I look at the games they play now. It seems to me that machines had altered the way they prepare for the game, because it's very few players are willing to take a chance. I mean, look, it's one of the great examples is the first game of the second round of candidates, Caruana and VL.
Oh yeah.
So this is the game that it's probably the most prepared opponents in history, because they had 1 year to prepare. This one had 1 year. It's just, and MVO played Najdorf, and of course the poison pawn, and he still missed it. And I believed that he had immense computing power, that had been mobilized. This is still, as we know, that's the human intervention, the Kasimjanov's idea where bishop c4, somehow this move was missed by a computer. I wouldn't enjoy it so much, because it's just, again, machines are too strong. So working with computers, fine, but just feeling totally dependent, yeah, probably I left on time.
Yeah, well, Gary, I was a second often for Joël Lautier, and I remember, sort of preparing against you in tournaments, and all through the night, we had some ideas. It was me. I had 8 hours. Tremendous romantic feeling of,
Yeah, exactly. This is now it's different, and but World Championship match is still very it's even with all these this is limitations for human creativity because of computers. The World Championship match always brings something new.
Yeah.
It's probably less than before, but some big matches, they always had ideas. I mean, look, it's the Kramnik won his title in 2000, and he brought something that became, one of the most popular, if not the most popular, defense against e4.
Yeah.
So this is somehow, it was like jumping into the future, because top computers they played early. It's quite amazing. So it's every World Championship match, big match, brings new ideas, and somehow it helps us to actually to navigate in these opening jungles now, and because we know that so much power is being used. It's no longer it's the one player with 2 or 3 coaches. I remember people said, "Oh, Gary had 2 or 3 coaches. Karpov had many." Now you have teams plus computers.
Do you think the time control will have a bit of an impact? Because there's I did a double take when I saw it. There's no increment until move 60, so it's just the good old 40 and 2 and 20 and 1, and then afterwards 60 moves with 15 minutes in increment.
Look, I think it's inevitable. They have to speed up. They just so many moves being made almost automatically now. Yeah. So I think it's a natural response. That's the strength of the game of chess. So it's adjustments to make sure that the game remains competitive and attractive.
Yeah. It's just in general. I mean, if you were taking on Jan in a match, Gary, how would you approach that? What is there something that you'd particularly be trying to do against
Jan? How do you play against Jan? Look, again, I will probably use the first 2 games to actually to understand. So 14 games, I have 7 whites. So I would play d4, e4 to find out if he plays Grunfeld or Najdorf, just to make sure. And again, I have to prepare. I think it's likely he will not play them, because it's really but you never know. So that's this is he played this. So and then I just I want to I need these 2 games to actually understand what is his what are his choices, and then I just look for concentrate on one of the first moves. Again, I don't know which one will suit me more, depending on these 2 games. As with black, I would probably take more risk. Okay. Again, it's easy to say that, more risk. I played neither, but I would probably just play something just risky, because he might lose. Again, it's emotionally. He's an emotional player. I would try to probably just offer him some attacking chances. So but that's Garry Kasparov speaking from 1995. This is just it's more than a quarter century ago. These days, I don't know. Magnus could decide to play again from a back line. That's possible because Magnus is universal. Magnus can do many things, but what he needs is just to keep his emotions under control. Because you said no blunders in blitz, fantastic. Yes, but look at his games. Like it's like Norwich in Stavanger. Yeah, he was lucky. Yeah, he ended up on top, but just something else could go wrong, for him in quite a few games.
Yeah. I mean, I suppose, also that, what happened at Stavanger, I think that's sort of what I associate with Magnus, just maybe the biggest strength difference with Jan somehow. Maybe I'm wrong, but just the way that Magnus reacts to a defeat is incredible always. I mean,
this is true. Yeah, this is true. Magnus is far more. Yeah, it's his stamina. Is the psychological stability. Jan. That's his weak spot. So that's why for him, losing a game might be unsurmountable challenge. So if Magnus takes a lead, then I think it will be very tough for Jan to come back again psychologically. And Magnus has phenomenal animal instincts. Yeah, I can only think of Fischer, with the same devotion to the game and just it's anger. It's wild instincts. So if he feels blood, it will go for a kill. So
I mean, it's always struck me with Magnus that somehow, after his worst defeats, I remember 2013 candidates, he sort of seems to go into this incredible grinding mode, so he beat Rajabov with black in this incredibly long end game, and that's something that needs so much concentration, to play so accurately over a long period of time. But he did that. And again, in Stavanger, you sort of saw, he was playing quite ropily somehow, and then somehow he just plays this series of long games and wins every single one of them. It's just but yes. But with Firouzja and especially with Karyakin, he was lucky. I mean, especially with Karyakin. I mean, Firouzja. It's another story. So as he's not yet a good end game player, but with Karyakin, he was very lucky. It's
very lucky.
I mean, we've talked about a few of the openings. I mean, Najdorf, Grunfeld, that's his normal lines. Any other lines that you sort of think might be thrown in to surprise the other? I was looking at Magnus's blitz games, trying to see whether he tried something by accident, but I'm not sure really.
No, I don't know. This is the what. By the way, you follow the games. What did Magnus play?
Well, he played a lot of 1d4, knight f3, 2g3. So a lot of these against King's Indian systems. He played some e4. He played bishop e3 against the Najdorf. All knight retreats, knight b3, knight d2, knight f3 when black plays e5. He also played 5f3 against the Najdorf. Little bit of c4 as well with white. With black, he played pretty much everything against 1e4. He's playing some odds French systems, e4, e6, d4, d5, knight d2, h6, which I played. I know it's bad. And also a little bit of Caracan, e5, he played the Berlin, but the old Lasker line with bishop e7, not knight e6. So, I mean, the thing is, it all looked very worked out somehow, I have to say, But
listening to you, I'm just thinking now. This is it's G3. It might not be an accident. Might not be an accident. So I didn't watch these games, but I'm now thinking that maybe it's just was more than having fun and getting some excitement. Maybe it's just he was checking something. So that's getting
feeling somehow,
Yes, feelings of trying to feel the positions. Maybe that's possible.
Yeah, I mean, he also got some d4, c4 in. And he was playing against the King's Indian. He played well, 5 bishop e2. He played the Averbach and also 6 bishop e3 as well. So it was which.
No, but it's king's in, and it's not the keys. Grunfeld d4 d3. It's interesting. I still think after Grunfeld he'll probably play main lines because I think he likes central pawn. So but again, d3 also again. Those are the systems that you might choose for some reason because they are. Again, it's a long game with slight initiative for white, and that's his strategy might be keeping Jan at bay.
Yeah. That was just very interesting looking through those games and just thinking, I wonder if I could play as well as that with with classical time control. Really, quite frightening.
Look, this is again. I think we exhausted it's our at this preview because we looked for different options, but 90% of what we discuss now would become irrelevant after game 2.
Exactly. Just one final thing, maybe, Gary. I mean, always got to ask this question: prediction on the score. Do you fancy risking a prediction on the score?
No, I'm not. Let's talk about the score after game 2.
Yeah.
Because there's too many unknowns yet. I think Magnus is a clear favorite, but again, I want to look at the games and I want to look at Magnus' body language.
Brilliant.
So and then I will be more confident in making predictions.
Fantastic. Well,
okay.
Gary,
So we'll continue tomorrow.
Yeah,
game 1.
Tomorrow. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. And thanks very much for all your insights, Gary.
Okay,
and,
excellent.
Look at the game tomorrow.